Like most on the left, Bernie Sanders demonizes big business, from banks to GE and now Verizon. Verizon outsources and makes a profit, which in left speak is theft. Having no idea that wealth is actually created and then shared, they assume it must be stolen from some mysterious finite pie that's existed in the universe since the Big Bang. But one company always escapes their wrath: Apple. When asked if Apple is wrecking America, Bernie said no. See, he knows how shallow his fans are. The typical protester only goes after giant, unlovable companies like Verizon because they're conveniently abstract. You can't put Verizon in your pocket or show it off. So to activists, they're just like your mean, big, invisible dad who never hugged you. The iPhone, however, is part of who you are, a status symbol nestled in your pocket like a friendly little robot baby. And there's the hypocrisy. Activists only protest stuff that doesn't enhance their identity. Apple outsources like crazy, but who cares when you're tweeting pictures of your gluten-free socks, Kimberly?
I love them.
It's like protesting the police. College kids don't own anything or run a business, so it's fun to heckle the men in blue. The result, the police back off and shootings go up in the communities that the college kids don't live in. But let's say they protest Apple and Apple complies. No more making phones in China. In a year, the iPhone would cost more than a pre-owned Prius. There goes the trip to Burning Man. And you were going to Instagram the whole thing. You know one thing I noticed, Kimberly?
Yeah.
No one ever protests fossil fuels in a harsh winter. Like when you got to heat your dorm.
Right.
They're not out there screaming about natural gas.
Well, because
they're full of it, but they won't.
Well, it's convenient, liberalism, convenient progressivism, where they say, okay, this is what we're for. But you notice, like we just had the example from Ed Henry, like Hillary Clinton is happy to take money, for speeches from Verizon, but at the same time she'll show up and be like, I'm all about we the people, the workers, let's fight back, and then give the whole anti-corporate thing. So you really see the hypocrisy, but somehow if you're liberal, you get away with it.
Yeah.
And there's just this sort of loose relationship with honesty and with integrity and with ethics, because anything goes to get it done.
Well, Eric, there's another hypocrisy. If the left talks about outsourcing, it's about protecting workers. But if the right talks about outsourcing, it's bigotry.
Yeah. And not only that, think about these hipsters who love their iPhone but are ticked off at Verizon and AT&T. You don't want them to outsource. You're against that. And you want salaries raised. You want all that stuff. Guess how much your plan is going to cost when you open up and pay for your iPhone bill every single month? It's going to go up. Don't complain about that. As you point out, be consistent. If you're mad at Verizon, AT&T, be mad at at Apple as well.
Yeah. Geraldo, isn't this just easy targeting?
I think what's going on, though, it's easy to scoff at them.
Yeah.
But when you see the energy, like the Washington Square demonstration for Sanders yesterday, you could not help but be impressed. He squeezed 27,000 in Washington Square Park. It is in the midst of NYU, granted, a very hip kind of community, but that energy, that vibe, that's real, and I think that's why Hillary Clinton is looking over her shoulder now in a way she never expected. She thought she'd be looking toward the Republican nominee, but instead she has all of these psyched kids. They're the Occupy forces, they're the Black Lives Matter, they're all of these different groups questing for years for a cause. Now they have a cause in the 74-year-old guy from Vermont.
But the cause, Dana, is always the same. It's rich people, it's wealth, it's corporations, and then they get older, they get married, they have kids, and they realize profit's not a bad thing because that's how you put food on the table.
True. Well, and I admire the CEO of Verizon, Lowell McAdam, who pushed back. I mean, in the face of all of this overwhelming positive coverage for people like Bernie Sanders and socialism, he was able to push back, I thought, very effectively. But the reason that they would go after Verizon and not Apple also has to do with progressive politics at the corporate level. And David French at National Review wrote a really great piece yesterday talking about how progressive politics is now infused at the CEO level in some companies, and Apple certainly is one of them, with Tim Cook being recently, fighting back against the FBI in regards to the terrorism investigation that they were doing after San Bernardino. The other thing is, what Verizon is talking about is progress. Okay, you cannot stop progress. Technology is coming. The bigger public policy issue that Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Trump, whoever it is going to have to deal with is the fact that this is coming no matter what.
Yeah.
So, because you know what? Guess who likes to use automated stuff? Young people.
Exactly.
They don't want to have to talk to anybody. They like it at the McDonald's when they can go in and order by iPad. They would rather call up Verizon and do it by a phone tree.
That is so true. It's the way of the
those
future.
jobs are going anyway.
Yes. which I predicted 40
Sorry
years
to
ago.
be the skunk at the garden party.
All right. All right, coming up.
You're going to have a robot replace you.
Yes, there you go.
Fine.